Oh, hey. I almost forgot to do a sound check. All right. I was saying I hope this goes okay because it looks like I've never looked at top during a stream before, but it doesn't look very good here. So, and I was also saying we need to start with a song, which we have ready to go here. Let me see, make sure the sound is right. Okay, welcome to Sunkworks. Here we go. Hard times come again no more. This sounds like a good song. Let's hear it. That was delightful. Let me find my mouse cursor here in just a second. Okay, that was delightful. Welcome to Sunkworks, episode 42, an auspicious number. I'm going to start closing tabs now because I think... Oh, holy hell. I'm going to start closing tabs now because I think that if I close some tabs, I will probably have a better stream. I'm not sure. Looks like we haven't dropped any frames yet. Let's just double check and make sure we're live here. It does say more calendar fun. That's great. Cool. All right. So, if you read the agenda today, there is not a fixed agenda, which is actually, that was my intention anyway. It kind of looks like there is a fixed agenda here, but so there's a couple of things I wanted to do today, and there's at least one thing that I forgot to mention on the list here. So let's get that out of the way first, so we don't forget it altogether, because it's not on the list. I did want to make a wiki page, and also I saw something new today when I tuned into my wiki. I saw it has more wikis. I'm not sure if this is what discovery mechanism this is, but this is great. Some of these people I recognize. Winter Patches here, I recognize him at least. Rebel, I think. I think Rebel is a friend of mine. I'm not really sure who these people are. They have Urbit names, right? So they are whoever their Urbit name is. It doesn't matter. And um, just another little plug for Urbit here while we're in here. This is the Urbit wiki. I don't think that I would be running a wiki today if I had to do all the things that we normally do to set up a service on this channel. Um, and also, for those of you who are not familiar with Sunkworks, by the way, or if you haven't been around for a long time, here, let me switch back to the other screen. I did want to... I've kind of dropped off in doing this lately, but I wanted to make sure that I plug the live stream on Urbit Radio. This is the Urbit Radio app. Here we go. So we're watching us live here on Urbit Radio, and if you tune in, you'll see us live as well, I think. I'm not sure how the timing works. It's not a playlist, so I think it should be okay. We just have to make sure we... Here we go. 1 second. What are we working on? No, this is not episode 31. It's episode 42, Calendar Fun. Okay, so we've done Calendar Fun before. Here, this is going to be really distracting if I keep this up. We have done a Calendar Fun episode before, or various Calendar Fun related episodes before. I have to go get something. I'll be right back. I'm sorry to do this on a live stream, but it is live. You got to deal with it. I'm a master at putting my things down and not knowing where I left them. Sorry. I'm still going to be another minute. Okay, I believe we are truly set up for success now. Thank you for bearing with me through all of that. All right, so yes, said that I wanted to create a wiki page, although I'm not sure that I want it to be a wiki page because I want to put a list of all of the domain names that I have together. And I don't know if I want all of those things to be collected in one place publicly, so it might be a redacted list actually. Oh, I'm really not sure about a stream today, but we're gonna chug through it. We're gonna try our best. Okay. So we may go back to the unnarrated style. I think that would be ideal. I'm sorry, I can't watch myself go by. I have to pause. The preview window. Okay, that's too hard. OBS, where are you? Yes, my instinct is to try to be an entertainer, but really this show is about trying new things and getting things done. So, yes, the origin story of the show I wanted to tell you about. Let's see. All right. So today I want to set up, first of all, I want to set up one of these calendar pages. And no, I'm not using Calendly. I've always called it the Calendly page, even though I know I have no intention of actually using calendly.com. I would like to be more available to people. I feel like I'm already fairly available. I have scheduled office hour almost twice a week. That's accessible to different time zones, and we're always open to creating a new time zone if you find that it is not accessible in your time zone. By the way, the meeting that I'm talking about is coming up later today. We have the Flux Bug Scrub AEST, which you can find out more about here at any time on the Flux website, where we keep our calendar. All right, but this is not the calendar fun that I had planned for today. No. I want people to be able to book my time, and I actually have been planning on doing this for a while. I want to check out, are we looking at even the right screen? I'm sorry, I don't have OBS up. Yes, thank goodness. I thought I was talking to the wrong screen. Yeah, cal.com. So cal.com is apparently all open source. I'm sure that they have a paid service that you can subscribe to, but I'm not interested in that at this time, at least. It says formerly Calendoso. I never heard of Calendoso, but the open source Calendly successor. All right, and this just looks great, right? Why do we need, right? This is the main thing I want. I would love for people to be able to schedule some time with me during a block of time that I have pre-decided I'm available. Where I have already intended, to make myself available to people, whether they're coming or not. People at large, whoever shows up, right? That's what you get when you deal with volunteers. You don't get to pick and choose and write a contract, right? They're either here and they want to do the work, or no one shows up today. So. But this is nice to get some predictability, and it might not be strictly volunteer, right? You can book my time and say, I would like to pay for your time. That's totally a thing. I've had people do that before. Sadly, my contract has ended, so I am looking for work again, and I'm going to write this down in case at some future date. I don't think there's any reason not to file for unemployment again. But I don't, I digress. That is not for you. Anyway. I'm sorry. Oversharing. Um, one of the topics of today's show is about career goal, and I have a specific goal. So let's see. I have some specific goals. I said I wanted to get through this list. I have a habit of not getting to the end of the list. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I think last episode I went back. I do go back and watch these things, by the way, and I'm horrified each time at how much I'm distracted by every squirrel that goes by. But such is the life of a technologist sometimes. Okay. Um, so one of the themes here is this 50% number, and I'll reveal the thing that I've been building up. I'm going to aim to become SRE. I don't know if I will do this for one or multiple companies. I don't think that most full-time employment contracts permit you to have more than one job, but the nature of the SRE job is kind of interesting, right? Because you can develop your... I could do the work this month, be hired next month, bring all my technology solutions with me, solve the problems, and not get paged. Bottom line, that's the ideal performance of an SRE, is to just come in, whip things into shape, and make it visible to everyone. Make sure that everyone knows. So that's why two of the goals today are one is cal.com, to make myself more available to people who want to schedule my time. And the other one is a status page for cal.com. Not, of course, not for cal.com, but for my own cal.com. Pardon me. So we see that there are some components to this app, and this is a recurring theme that we deal with in our apps. And we actually have an issue I want to talk about. Not that one. Nope. I'm on the fence, actually. I don't know if I want to jump into a career as an SRE, because I truly do enjoy working in developer experience roles, and I think that it's a different skill set almost, but at the same time it's not a different skill set, right? You can apply, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I have no point. So one of the points here is we're going to get outside today, and then we are going to talk about how are we going to become an SRE. So that should round this terrible arc out nicely. Excuse me, one moment. This terrible story arc out nicely. And by the way, I think, speaking of terrible, I heard that IBM is going to purchase HashiCorp. That may be the first time I've said HashiCorp correctly, if that's the correct pronunciation of HashiCorp. And I'm trying to poke some fun here. I said terrible, not because I think this is terrible news. It might be terrific news. I don't know. But because I think it's funny that Ansible and Terraform are going to merge. Even if the tools themselves don't merge. That was a joke. I saw, right? Terrible. Is that what you'd call it? It was not a funny joke. Jokes should be funny. Don't call it a joke if it's not funny. All right. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So we are going to get outside. We're going to look at the timekeeping mechanism here. Actually, let's start with number 5, because that's the easy one. So I already mentioned that my contract has ended, the contract that I was working on. and under. So I'm available for work again. So this one needs to go. We don't have a scope of work that we're working under anymore. So what will we do with this other blue dot? It used to say Microsoft. I see on my little time cube here. I have one of these timular things. I don't want to pick it up because I don't want it to shut off my right, you write your little status note there so you remember what it was you did, and if you go back at the end of the day every day, then you always have your time card ready to go. If you gotta submit a time card for whatever reason to someone. So what are we going to call this one? It's not going to be scope of work deliverables anymore. Well, I wonder if we still have the color stickers. There was a whole sheet of stickers. Like there's one that looks like a little mail. There's one that looks like money. And I've got a green dot and an orange dot. The orange dot is for recording, right? The green dot is for bug scrub. There's a blue dot for Flux community, which is what I would tick instead of bug scrub when I was at the Flux dev meeting. And then there is a one for, I think we're going to call this incident response. Yeah, and this is our version of Quality Week. If you're an SRE, every week is Quality Week, I think. That's the, if you've heard of Quality Week, it's the concept that you can't just have one quality week, right? If you're going to have a quality week, you need to make a habit of declaring quality weeks. Maybe like once every 4 to 8 weeks, you should have. Probably every 4 weeks is too frequent for quality week. If you're doing quality week every 4 weeks, it's a sign, right? It's an indication that quality is low. If you think that you need to do quality every 4 weeks, but don't read too much into that, because that leads to negative feedback loops, which right, there is no such thing as working on quality too much. If quality is low, then you need to work on it. It's not like, oh, we need to reduce this quality time allocation because it's a sign that quality is low. Like, that's not the order of operations. If quality is low, then read the signs and, act on it. Don't attack quality time, which is the mechanism that people have chosen to make quality improve over time. So quality time is you kind of set aside an entire week to just focus on things that you really should have fixed by now, right? Or automation or SRE work. Basically, SRE work is a broad term. I'm calling it SRE work because I don't really understand. I'm sure I haven't read the book closely enough, but an SRE role is a different type of role than a lot of like sprint development work. SRE is needs to be responsive to incidents, and ideally, what responsive to incident mean is that whoever is perceptive enough to notice that something has gone wrong doesn't notice for long, right? You don't just respond to incidents. You have to resolve them, but resolving them doesn't mean get it off my desk. It has a whole follow-up process that includes like potentially root cause analysis, and depending on the severity of the incident, different level of introspection to help figure out how we can make this type of incident less frequent or less impactful, or other things that you could call remediating the incident, right? You can remediate, you can triage first and then remediate after. If we find that a disk is filled up, if a disk is filled up, why is that a problem? Well, the processes that run on that machine may depend on the disk not being full, so that they can write more to it. A failure that results from a disk filling up could range from uh, logs are no longer collecting to um, something as severe as a database is failing writes, right? And the website is down for all users. Those are a range of possibilities. So if you think of disk filling up as an incident that you need to respond to, you may need to reevaluate your framework, right? You need to be proactively responding to that issue. You need to have a bead on how long it will take for the disks to fill up at their current rate, right? And that could be a number that you can measure in years or hours, and it could change from minute to minute. You could have a process that instantaneously is writing a terabyte per hour, but it only writes for 10 seconds. But if it wrote for the entire hour, if it hung and it continued writing, you would have a problem if the disk is only 100 gigabytes. And suppose there's a process for cleaning out old writes that you no longer require because they've, I don't know, for whatever reason, we don't collect every write. We have a retention policy, something like that. I don't know. We have to hold on to them for X number of cycles. Anyway, you see there's like a lot of parameters you can tune to ensure that this doesn't have the impact, and that's all part of remediating the issue. These are things I learned at my first permanent job, managing a data center, with a under the tutelage of a CIO who was a terrible person. I'm sorry, he's not going to see this video. No, he was not a terrible person. I always say that when I talk about, I'm not going to say who he is, but if you want a reference, I can hook you up. He's a good guy. He'll say nice things about me, I'm sure. All right, so let's go back to the other screen here. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I've lost track of what we wanted to do. We actually said we wanted to do things on this stream and not narrate them. And I feel like it's become all narrative all the time. I want to make a change. This is the first step. Okay. I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to not talk to you after that. I'm just going to come back inside. I'm going to do the work that we set out. But I don't want to miss any of these things, and if I'm totally dial the narrative down to 0, I will probably forget something. The other goal was to create a wiki page. Why don't we create that wiki page now? We could have multiple wiki page goals. Why don't we create more than one wiki page? Alright, so execution wiki definitely is going to be the place where the list of domains goes. I have to figure out here, backup, cluster, hosted, external. Other databases. By the way, I'm not going to list every domain name that I own here, but I'm going to list all of the ones that I can think of, and some of them are ones that I don't own, but I've just had pointed at me. Because I don't want to lose track of them soon, I'm going to list them here. And that's one. Let's see, what other... How would I know if I had a... Can I check ingresses? Here we go. Yeah, we have Heffy.pro, Wombo.space, TeamHeffy.info, I think we have a Heffy.dev also. I'm not going to show you my mail on the stream, sorry. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I'm affected by the Squarespace migration. You see I have these .dev domains. I did even register them through Google because I thought Google domains so cool. But I haven't done anything with most of these. I see I do have, or did have, Heffy.dev. Sorry. It says these all renewed. So when I say I was affected or impacted by this migration, I just mean I'm apparently... That's amazing. Did they really... I don't know if I use any of those services. But we're going to make sure that these domains come back online at least. And we're probably going to migrate them away from Squarespace because I really have no interest in Squarespace. I use Namecheap. I think they're pretty good. There might be better domain hosts out there today, but I don't think it's a high touch, right? I mean, name server is really the most important job. And I don't really use the built-in name server when I buy domain. I just point it at the name servers that I want. So, all right, so we're going to make a list here. This is not the page that we wanted to create. Well, no, this is the one page we wanted to create. But we do actually want to create a calendar page. So we're going to make some subdomains for each of these. And I think like another theme of this show is a lot of the things that I talk about doing on the show, you're just going to see it done next time. I'm not going to do the whole thing on the... Well, I did say I was going to go outside and then I was going to come back. So maybe, like we said, when I come back, we will just not talk anymore. Let's see, what other domain names am I forgetting about? Heffy.pro, moonboo.space, teamheffy.info. This VPN thing is defunct. What about ingress routes? Commitstew.com. Yeah, we can add that to the list. What else have we forgotten about? That's the most important one. Without that, I can't get into the cluster. Yeah, so we've been on this journey to migrate everything to Talos cluster. What is this? Acme HTTP solver, Talos dev webhook. Moo cluster. Not gonna get nerd sniped. Not this time. Yeah. So let's talk about that. So we should spend less than 50% of our time on incident response. And we can also probably not do incident response on camera. So we'll have to stop recording to do incident response. At least not live. I mean, sometimes an incident could be recorded, but I don't think that I would do those things at the same time. We're going to put it on our calendar when we do incident response. And one of the incidents we have to respond to is sadly down. We're going to try to bring that back, but we're going to do it in a way that does not break. So we've got one free database here. Well, it's got multiple databases actually. Here's our commits to. Here's our. So I'm wrapping around to. We've got multiple incidents to respond to. This one isn't working. This one isn't working. This one isn't working. It's not the database's fault. Actually, we've successfully farmed out the database to a company who is happy to do it for us for free. We have to try to keep our usage below a certain level, and it looks like we have indeed managed to. Well, it says it's above. I don't know how that's possible because we're only using the primary branch here, and if you read the fine print here, it does say, at least I thought it said. I wonder if that's the reason why it doesn't work. We're above the usage limit. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Stats tracker, here we go. So this guy has been doing this lately. And it would explain a lot if we're not able to connect to the database, and that's the reason why we... What do we got now? Projects, Flux CD not found, rescue. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it is working. Let's see. Graph on a Cloud, Flux Query, that's what it's called. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna lose access to this. Oh, maybe that's what happened. No, this isn't the database. Somehow I can still log into my Weaveworks account. That's fortunate. I do have to fix some things. Well, so it seems like it is still counting, huh? I guess it's the cleanup that fails, and that's why these things hang around for the health check timeout. So anyway, we're going to try to take some advice from engineering economics. No, from I had a thread open. to share with you guys. Where did it go? Here we go. Try to take some advice from our friend DHH, who says don't run CI on the cloud because it's just another place for you to have headache. And I feel like that right now. Although this was our serverless solution, so we could really have 0 servers, was to just leverage GitHub Actions. So if we want it to happen on a scheduled basis, we probably do need a server, because we're not going to have a human interact on a scheduled basis. But we will have a human, well, you could always have a human interact on a scheduled basis, just can't be once an hour, every hour all day. Let me think about this. Okay, so I am going to go outside at some point, but I like the idea of this. So if you can't immediately parse this just by reading it, I'll tell you what it says. So we're collecting some information because we're taking over the job of CI. And by the job of CI, I mean when we have a commit that we want to go out, we want it to be signed off. So what I wonder is, can I, through this trigger, another job? Can a check trigger another job to start? A job that waits? I think that's how dependencies are. So if we have like a sign-off signature job we want to happen only when someone has physically signed off a commit. I mean, and they don't have to run the tests, right? Unless we have a policy rule that says they have to run tests locally. I think that's silly. We should run the tests in CI on every commit. Validate. First, we'll validate in CI. Well, and I guess really this is the one that counts, though, if you've got humans signing off. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff that's broken. We've got a lot of stuff more that's still going to break. I really want to export. I think I've already taken a copy of all of these dashboards. Oh, hell no. Sorry, I have something just stole my mouse off the right-hand side of my screen and took it into the TV downstairs. Sorry. So I want to make use of something like this. I think that there will be value in this. What is announced, though? Oh, that's neat. Anyway, this is the key bit here. Using the GHCLI to access the API. So this does an authenticated post because your GHCLI is already authenticated. And it does so to the repo that you are on, which we collected earlier. On the particular commit that you have, it adds a context sign-off state equals success. So this is that green check that you can have. I think they have this required check for merge. So someone has to have run CI and seen that it succeeded. Or ideally this doesn't happen, but you could also comment out one of these things if it's broken. Just comment it out and then make that part of the commit that merges. Someone would have to review that, hopefully, and see, maybe you shouldn't do that. But there could be times when you have to do that. I don't know. Yeah. But so like, I don't know what is wrong here. I have to run this locally. That's the point I'm getting at. So maybe I'm pretty sure we already have a nice method to run this locally. I think it's using Foreman, so it shouldn't be a big hassle for me to do that. But now I've laid out a lot more work, I think, than we originally described, that's all incident response stuff. So I think I'm not going to do that on stream from now on. I'm going to do that off stream. Or maybe I'll set up a separate stream, incident response stream, where we really just don't talk. Just do the work. Or only talk if we really have... who's to say if it's important? It might be. See, this actually connects to a database using Rails. It uses Rails models to help me populate the tables that this Grafana chart reads. So it's not, there's no Prometheus involved here. This is just a Postgres database. And it's really nice. It's really nice that you can do this for free with Grafana Cloud, but I really wanted to be able to publish these charts. And there is no way to publish with Grafana Cloud for free unless you call them, which I know some people at Grafana, so I might be able to call them and do that. But hell, it's so tiresome to call people. All right, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to stop the stream for a while. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do work. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to do it. All the things that I set out to do today. But one of them was go outside. I want to see this emergency preparedness drill that they're doing just down the street from me. I don't know what it's about. I saw them closing off the street, though. So I'm going to scooter over there, find out what's going on, and I'll come back and do some work. And probably play some music. All right. See ya for now. I'm just going to push stop streaming. I hope it doesn't end the broadcast. But if this is the end, see ya.